Hi, everyone. This is Malin Barr from the movie Honeydew, and I'm here with the Horror Squad podcast.
Hello, welcome back to the Horror Squad podcast, episode number 203. Tonight we're talking about 1996 Twister. One of your co-hosts, we have Todd, Steve, Joe, and Sam. I know we joked about reviewing Twister last episode on Ghostbusters, and here we are. So happy American Thanksgiving. That happened. What was there, Twister? Oh no, it's just Sam.
It's a Twister sound.
Oh my God, did they take?
Sounded like a demon.
You know, I'm reading The Exorcist right now, and sorry for my phone going off. Reading The Exorcist right now, and that was spot on for Reagan.
Oh,
just letting you know, Sam.
I'm scared. What? Hey, when?
Oh, really?
What's the deadline for The Exorcist so I can get going here?
We're winging it, honestly. A lot of people fell off.
Okay.
With the holidays, it's hard to keep a deadline, especially for reading. So just read it, and then when the people decide that we're ready to talk about spoilers, then we will. I think it's only myself and Michelle are pretty close to being done. Other than that, I think it's up in the air.
All right.
It's fucking great though, man. The book's
I'm excited.
Pleasantly surprised, yeah.
Is it scary?
Yeah, man. The freaking spider walk scene from
really?
I think that's the director's cut, right?
It is, yeah.
Exorcist. I had to put the book down and think about it because I was really grossed out. Yeah, the description of it was just
give us something how they described it.
I mean, I'm not gonna do it justice, but the mom is downstairs and she's talking to the live-in nanny kind of thing, Sharon, and Sharon's walking down the stairs and Chris turns and sees Reagan doing the spider walk, but Sharon doesn't see it, and Chris starts freaking out, and Sharon's like, what the fuck, what? And she turns around, doesn't see anything, but she feels Reagan licking her ankles, and she looks down and Reagan's all spiders and then flicking her tongue back and forth, and then it says the last line is wherever Sharon went, Reagan followed, on spiders licking her ankles. I'm
ew.
This fucking, I'm I had to put it down. It was really good. It's good, man. The book is really good.
Awesome.
How's your trip, Todd?
It was excellent. Went to Tennessee, hiked the Smoky Mountains a little bit. I saw some black bear cubs, some wild black bear cubs. So the mama was nearby, so that's good. Went to Gatlinburg, which is a tourist attraction for Tennessee, and then went to Pigeon Forge. It was fun. It was unplugged the phone for the most part. Just sat, read, hiked, played in the creek, stuff like that.
Awesome.
What did you eat?
Too much. Everything. We only cooked one time for Thanksgiving. It was meatloaf and all that stuff. But other than that, it was giant meals every opportunity. Because you gotta look up what's the best barbecue in Pigeon Forge and what's the best burger and and of course you have to go get it. So it was ridiculous.
Nice. Very nice. Sam made some Thanksgiving goodies. Tell him, Sam.
Well, you're the one who enjoyed them, so you tell them. Okay, so I made a baked mac and cheese. I kind of cheated because I just used Velveeta shells and cheese, but I added shredded cheese and liquid smoke, and I put a little bit of bacon on there. It was really good. And then I also tried making this no-bake pumpkin cheesecake, and it featured Steve's Canadian maple syrup from Canada that Steve gifted us. That was my secret recipe, and it was really good.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the Canadians who are helping the Americans with the maple syrup shortage. I just saw on the news today they're donating. They're sending us 50 million gallons.
We tapped into our reserves. It was this big deal here.
Was it really?
Yeah, it's
that's hilarious. Wow, your Congress had a riot. We're not giving them shit.
No, it's not that. It felt okay, we're gonna bust out the good stuff this one time. That's how it felt in the news. It was weird.
That's funny that it's a news item, a newsworthy item.
Yeah, I was watching the news today and they were talking about it. It was a big deal. I was whoa, all right.
Wait, so are they mad that they're sending that over?
No. I'm saying, it's because this is, I guess, it never happened before. We almost felt oh, well, like if we're gonna give them stuff, we're gonna give them the good stuff. So we're almost like proud of it.
That's how a drug dealer starts.
Right, exactly.
And the next time they're gonna withhold it from us.
Right.
They also mentioned on the news that like Canada makes up like for 75% of like the maple syrup like in the world or something. I was like, that's pretty impressive.
You have a lot of trees. So
yeah.
And they're all tapped. Like every Canadian has had maple syrup. It's just like it's like a big thing here. So
how do you tap a tree? Do you literally just like stick a tap?
Yeah, that's legit what you do. You stick a tap into a specific type of tree, and
that's wild.
And you eat it just like that, or do you have to refine it, or is it pretty?
If you go, we call them sugar shacks here. So if you go to a place where they do it, you can have it straight from the tree. But most places refine it so that it can be manufactured and like canned.
Is it good, better, worse, acquired taste if it's fresh, or?
It's a goopier, like than it would be if you ate it like manufactured. But it's good. It's fine. The way they do it here is they put it like on snow, and then you put a stick and you twirl it on it, and then it becomes like almost like
snow
a popsicle
cone.
of.
I've seen that. That looks delicious.
Yeah, that's like a big activity here in like March, April. It's like a big thing we do. So
it's like an apple picking in the fall, but you go to the maple trees.
Yeah, we call it the sugar shack. So
okay,
usually they serve like breakfast at like some cabin, and you get to have maple syrup. That's
cool. When was the last time you did that?
Fuck. Like high school. Okay. It's no, actually, you know what? No, we did for work one time. It was like a work building exercise thing. Usually they do it at old timey villages, where they recreate old times and stuff with old cabins and that kind of stuff. So we kind of learned a bunch of stuff, and they had a sugar shack at the end. So pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So you guys ready for some questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You can ask us those questions on social media at the Horror Squad Podcast, or on the Discord, where they shared all sorts of crazy food. So jealous. It was just a Thursday here for us, so just watching people share all their awesome Thanksgiving meals. Very jealous, that's for damn sure. And then a few Black Friday purchases, which was really cool. So join our Discord, just ask us for the link and we will send you access to that.
Side note there, I wasn't planning to buy anything on Black Friday. I spent like $150
oh
Black Friday.
What'd you buy?
Stupid movies, like every
like
single
what?
one of them. Well, there's a new book out on Cannibal Holocaust, like the making of and the director and stuff, that's limited to 1,000 copies. I'm like, I had to buy it, like signed hardcover. Bought that from Severin, who's like an independent, like a pretty cool Blu-ray company, and then like a couple other titles from them, and then this like shot on video 90s director J.R. Bookwalter. He put a lot of his movies out that I snagged up too. So too much money, but once a year isn't bad.
No, you gotta do it.
All right, so the first question actually came to us like the day after we recorded last time from Creature Feature, which is Marla. She says, thought of a question last night after the fact, but what do you think about most shows and movies apparently now having a podcast element to them?
It's a fad, right?
Yeah, sign of the times, really, more than anything. I mean, it's so big right now. So yeah, I mean, I have no problem with it. Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. It's kind of just like how they used to do after shows. Now it's just a weekly podcast, and you get more of the show that you love.
The one I remember first was Tusk. That's like the first big one I can remember where like they had like a big like podcast like stuff like involved with it. So
Nazi party.
Yes.
And then the what Halloween had
yeah
podcasters.
That's right. Halloween 2018. Yeah. The pod.
Which I was disappointed we didn't hear any more about them from the sequel.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they were both died. Like
I don't think the guy died. He took a big beating, but he was still
I don't know.
still breathing there at the end.
Just because you're breathing doesn't mean you're gonna survive it, though. You know.
True.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people don't have anyone to talk to about maybe their favorite shows or movies. It's like if I go to the office, no one wants to talk horror. So a lot of people kind of resort to either YouTube videos or podcasts. So if you have like a show that you like, there's almost always a podcast for it. It's crazy. Like people just, and it's good, I mean, it's also good for podcasters because it's usually a limited run. So it doesn't go on forever. It's not work forever. So it's less intimidating as having like a always every single week podcast, which is a lot of work. So yeah, I'm all for them, and it's great that they exist,
Yeah. I found one for the 90s show Beast Wars that I like. Yeah, No More Energon or something like that. Like, so yeah, like Steve said, literally there's something for every single thing you can think of.
Yeah, and there's even like, for example, The Office has like 3 of them where cast members go through every episode, like 1 episode per episode, and they go through the episode like in depth about like stories from the set from that episode and how it came to be and all that stuff. So it's really cool. It's like getting a commentary for every episode of your favorite show. So
have you listened to those, Steve? Because I tried Office Ladies, but I didn't really like their style.
You should try Brian Baumgartner's one, who played Kevin. I like his a little bit better. It's just, I guess, just more my style. I mean, the Office Ladies are great too. They have like their own style. It's just not the way I like kind of like it, but he's got a cool one too. So highly recommend it. And she finishes with, and can I call you guys podcast from now on? Sure.
He's good. That kid was good. I listened to it.
I like how he had the one
listener.
The one listener, and it was Dan Aykroyd.
It was so obvious that's what it was going to be. It was still a nice moment.
Yeah.
But it would be Dan Aykroyd. Like, obviously, the guy's like super into paranormal and stuff like that. Actually, speaking of which, while I look for the other questions, I was talking to one of my friends the day after we recorded the episode when we said there were no references to part 2 in Ghostbusters Afterlife. Well, his occult store was something that was in part 2 that they introduced in part 2. So there is existence of part 2 in the movie, and Jason Reitman confirmed that should there be a future sequel, they will definitely have more references to part 2, and part 2 is in fact canon. So
interesting. I don't think it's necessary, but hey, I mean, it'll create more callbacks. It'll be fun, I'm sure.
For sure. All right. Next series of questions. Let's go for an audio question. So gonna give it up to my man, Chuck.
What's up, Horror Squad? It is Chuck, aka Captain Amazing 85. Here are some questions. First off, how is an F5 tornado strong enough to lift houses into the air, but not Helen Hunt's shirt?
She's got those nipple pasties on.
Whoa.
Movie magic.
Hollywood magic.
Or not so magic, I guess. I don't.
Come on.
I don't remember. Does she tuck in her shirt throughout the movie? Didn't really.
But I mean, regardless.
I mean, do people in tornadoes lose their shirt? Is that a thing?
I don't know. Yeah.
No? Well, there you go. So does that answer the question? Science?
Science.
Science.
Yeah, I don't think that's how tornadoes work. They don't like swoop you from the bottom and just take off your shirt. They'll either bring up your entire body.
You might be thinking of Marilyn Monroe.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think that's
I want to know if anyone's ever tied themselves to something in a tornado and survived.
Must have, right? Like,
I'm sure.
Holding on via belt.
Yeah, I don't think that's that far-fetched, honestly. Like,
really? I mean, you get pounded with rocks and shit.
Yeah. I mean, I would think that, but I mean, I think if you attach yourself to something, like, I think it's possible you wouldn't get ripped. I don't know. In F5, it might rip your fucking limbs off. So
yeah, I'm thinking it would suck your body right through that thing.
Possibly.
I'm gonna Google it.
I'm sure the filmmakers did their research.
Yeah, they say the pipe, it goes down 30 feet, so that won't come out. I believe that, but I don't think that piece of leather would have survived.
That's a good point.
150 pounds that it's pushing towards the tornado. So
hey, haven't you ever seen those infomercials where they do that crazy shit and it works? Like,
right. Yeah, but yeah, the debris is probably what's gonna kill you, and most people in the tornado, unfortunately. All right, so let's get Chuck's second question.
Twister is a fun party game if you're flexible. What are your favorite party games?
Oh, we're going the actual game Twister. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I played Twister. It was fun times though.
2 days ago, man, we play that shit all the time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love the game Twister.
Twister's fucking hard, man. Especially when you're older. You're like, my son. It usually comes down to me, and my son, and he fucking little bastard gets me every time.
I love it. I haven't played it as an adult, like later in life, but I used to play it all the time, like at all my slumber parties. And then in high school, when we would go hang out like at guys' houses that we liked, we would always play it just to like be able to touch them.
Oh, naked Twister.
That'd be gross if you think about it. The buttholes opening up and stuff.
Ew, I don't
It's
want
true.
no
You're in these weird
butthole
positions.
opening near me while I put right foot on green.
So
right.
wait, what was the
just
question?
Hold on.
Oh.
Survival story. Family ties children with ropes, clings to trees during tornado.
Oh.
Published May 10th, 2011. So I guess, yeah, there you go.
But was it an F5?
I'm not sure.
But wait, what was the question? What games do we like to
What
play?
games?
What party games?
Party games?
Or games, whatever.
I love Guess Who. That's my jam.
Mm-hmm. Did someone made a horror version of it that you can like buy on Etsy?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. I don't know. Sam and I played like a really fun game on Thanksgiving with my family. It was called like Us Weekly, the game or something, but it's basically just like there's like a bunch of celebrities and you gotta like act out like the it's like charades / like describe them and stuff. It was a lot of fun though. And then we played what did we play on Saturday with our friend Sam? What's the name of that game?
It's like a card game, but it's in the style of kind of like a board game, but it's called Zoom. It's like you have to get 5 in a row. It's kind of like a Connect 4, but you have to do it with the cards that are on this board. Of course, Joe and his friend were cheating, but no surprise there.
We were not cheating. Just because the girls lost, we were cheating.
No, the girls played by the rules.
All right. Can never go wrong with Battleship either. Big fan.
Yeah. For me, I don't know if you guys ever played this. We might have talked about it in the past, but I used to play Nightmare a lot. Nightmare is a VHS game where you play a video and a host kind of dictates what you're doing for an hour. And as the game progresses, it's also a board game, like you're doing stuff in a board game with cards and stuff. And he stops you like every couple minutes and he tells you something like, okay, player who's playing right now, you lose your turn. Or the player to the left of the person who's playing right now, you gain a card or whatever the case may be. And each time he comes on screen, he's a little more like decrepit and he's like kind of melting or whatever it is. And it's a really cool game. I actually just backed a Kickstarter where they're re-releasing the Nightmare game with like new pieces and new cards and stuff like that. So that's really cool. It still has by the time this recording comes out, there's still a week left and they're about to hit their second stretch goal, which is additional like better pieces. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's looking forward to that. And as far as non-horror games, the two that we play quite a bit here is Cards Against Humanity, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. If you're not, it's basically you have cards that say like a sentence or a word, and you have to kind of outsmart the other players and be the most clever or the funniest or whatever it is. And it's a really cool game. Highly recommend it. And the other one's Shit Happens. In that one, you're given cards and it has an event and a rating. So for example, catching your parents in bed, and it says out of 100, how bad of a situation that is. And you have to play, you have to say okay, I think it's between this and this. And the more cards you have down, the less you have to say, okay, the spaces between how bad it is gets smaller and smaller. So let's say one card you have is 45, one's 50. If it's a 47 card, you have to know that it's between there. It's you kind of rate bad situations and it's really, really fun. So recommend that one as well.
I love that one. What's it called? Shit Happens?
Shit Happens, yeah.
Cool.
Going back to Nightmare real quick, because that is a fantastic game. It reminds me of that movie. What was that movie we watched, Todd? It was like a board game.
Beyond the Gates. Beyond the Gate, yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't very good, but it was similar to that game. So maybe it's something you should check out, Steve, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'll definitely look for it.
I think it had Barbara. I think it was Barbara Crampton, wasn't it?
It did. She was like the VHS host.
Okay.
Yeah, very cool. I'll definitely look at it. All right. His third question.
What would be on your storm chasing playlist?
Ooh. I mean, Dusty had a pretty good one.
Let's get his mixtape and just borrow it. By the way, leather has a textile strength of 128 pounds. versus 318-mile-per-hour winds and F5 tornado. Therefore, they would have been shredded and ripped apart.
Did someone actually do the science behind all?
Yeah, someone did the
movie.
The leather has 128 pounds. That's not enough for 2 full-grown adults. Plus, the elbow in the pipe would have been like, all right, never mind. So no.
Forget it.
But yeah, I'm just going Dusty's. I love it. Yeah, it's great stuff. So Sam, I'm sure you got some good jams.
Mine would be 90s jock jams.
Oh, jock jams? What what is it?
You don't know what jock jams is?
Jock jams.
Oh my God, Steve, tell him.
Were those like the infomercials?
No, it's like the songs they play at sports events,
okay.
To get you hyped, in the middle of the game.
Yes.
Like We'll Rock You is a jock jam. Tootsie Roll was a jock jam, and there's
Machine Head. That's always a big one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it was. It was like a series of CDs and cassettes in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I used to listen to the first volume. It's like this orange one. I don't know why. I had like a sports jock phase in high school, so jock jams was.
I always made up dances to them.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember that? Oh God, I forget. I think it was NFL. Like 4 or 5 years ago, there was like a massive hurricane in Florida, and I think it was like the Cardinals played the Dolphins, and they played "Here I Am, Rock You Like a Hurricane" like during the game or whatever, and they had to like issue an apology because they were playing the Florida team.
God, too early.
Yeah, too soon apparently.
For me, I think I'd go either hard rock or hard rap. That's both my like kind of kick-ass. I guess it'd be the same as workout music in the end. So that's the two genres that I tend to strafe to. All right, and Chuck's last question.
Last but certainly not least, green eggs and Sam. The meal they eat's pretty epic. But what's our food pairing?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to say like all the food that they had that morning. I don't know. I didn't really prepare for this.
Steak and eggs.
Steak and eggs it is. With white gravy.
Meh.
And French fries.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of French fries, I made French toast for the first time last week.
How did it turn out?
How was it, Joe?
It was delicious.
Get some powdered sugar on there too?
Yes.
Very good.
And Steve's maple syrup.
Nice.
You got some cinnamon in there?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That maple syrup's like 2 years old, but it's delicious.
It was never opened though.
It wasn't, no.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter, fool.
All right. I didn't know if there's a expiration date on maple syrup. I wouldn't think there would be, but there's not much in there that could go bad. But pretty much everything has an expiration date, I think.
All right. All right. So thank you, Chuck, for the questions and the audio questions. I love the audio questions, so that's always a fun time. And if you guys want to send us audio questions, just send me a DM with your question, and I'll stick it in the episode. So I like the interaction in that manner. Next question is from Weezerface. What natural disaster scares you the most?
Well, I'm sure Sam can answer this the best because I know she's actually been involved in like tornadoes. I've never really had the experience of like being involved in any sort of natural disaster. But I would think a tornado would probably scare me the most. It just seems pretty terrifying.
How close have you been, Sam, to one?
When I was a kid, it like hit our neighborhood.
Freaky, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. And it like destroyed a lot of the houses.
Jeez.
I would say besides tornadoes, I always think about like a blizzard. Because like if the snow just doesn't stop and it keeps going, especially here in Massachusetts, because everything's old as shit, the electrical power goes out with a little gust of wind, whole town shuts down, can't drive anywhere. What if you just freeze to death in your apartment? Whereas with a tornado, you can kind of take cover and maybe you can drive away from it and it only lasts a while.
Good thing you have 1,000 blankets just behind you in one photo. So I think you're okay.
You should see the laundry room.
Oh boy. I don't know. I haven't like actually had a tornado land, but we've had numerous like oh shit, the storm is gonna produce a tornado kind of thing, you know, where it's all lightning and all that shit, winds and things like that. Knocked down my tree last year, which sucked. Been in a lot of earthquakes, and those aren't really scary. I guess because you just grow up with them, they're not scary. I think like a massive fire would suck, because like they go super fast, like faster than people would think.
Yeah.
And like if you can't get away, like you're kind of fucked. So
yeah, some of those videos from like the California wildfires from like a couple years, it was like terrifying. It looked like hell on earth.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Like wildfires, like even if the fire isn't even that close to you, the smoke is gonna just be an absolute killer. You know, there's really no getting away from it. You know, it's crazy. Like when you watch those videos of, you know, California burning and stuff, it's just terrifying. You know, it's just crazy.
I can imagine a volcano eruption would be quite terrifying as well. I mean, Dante's Peak.
Thankfully, they don't happen too often, but
no.
At least in, you know, populated areas. But yeah, Dante's Peak was terrifying. More so than Volcano. I think Volcano seemed a little fake, but Dante's Peak was was legit. Well,
I mean, asteroid too would suck, because that's like basically a nuclear weapon destroying Earth.
Yeah, it's the anticipation of the asteroid, right? Because you know there's nothing you can do, you know, unless Bruce Willis decides to suit up.
Hey, don't sell up Ben Affleck. Don't undersell him. He's there too.
He was there.
It's so stupid. Like, I know we talked about this before, but like, they can't train astronauts to be miners, but they can train them to be astronauts. Like, shut up.
No, but they know, you know, they got the
drilling.
feel. Yeah. They know, Todd. Were you a Deep Impact guy or an Armageddon guy?
Armageddon all day.
I like Deep Impact. It was like, it's more realistic, you know. Like a lot of people actually die in Deep Impact, and you know the crew dies. The spaceship spoiler. The spaceship crew.
What?
Dies. Yeah.
That guy gets blinded and he just had a kid. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
man.
Exactly. It was very sad. Deep Impact. Yeah. So that was definitely my favorite one of those two.
Sam, I want to know, Sam, were you a Deep Impact girl or Armageddon? Probably Armageddon, right? Because they had Ben. He was the heartthrob.
Neither. I don't even know.
Neither.
Who was in Deep Impact.
Elijah Wood and Lily Sobieski, Joyride.
Oh.
Riding a motorcycle up a freaking mountain.
Yeah, it's early.
And it was isn't a black president in that?
Morgan Freeman.
It was Morgan Freeman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say neither.
Wow.
I don't think I was paying attention to those movies.
I feel like Armageddon would be right up your alley. You'd like Armageddon. Great cast.
I mean, I've seen it, but
you can't go. I mean, Steve Buscemi is just.
That's it. We're watching it next week.
Anything. Yeah, that's right. We're just gonna eventually like make our way into just being a normal like non-horror podcast. You know? We'll ease them into it slowly.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, speaking of natural disasters, horror fan Ryan asked, have any of you been in a natural disaster? I've been in a couple. What about you guys?
What, Steve?
So I had a tornado once hit very, very close. So much so there was someone at my house. It was my wife's cousin, and she's like looking out the window, and she's like, "Your fence just blew off." I'm like, "What?" And I look, and sure enough, like, so the tornado, like the funnel didn't hit where I was, but the winds from around where it hit, which was not that far from me, like knocked down my fence essentially. So that sucked. And the other tornado story I have is, we get a lot of tornado warnings because I live in a valley, but like they never pan out to anything usually. And it becomes almost, because we get like an automated system, you know, on our phones and stuff that tell you that there's a tornado warning, and it happens so much that you kind of stop believing it. You know, you're like, eh. So I was shopping, I was doing groceries, and I get a tornado warning, and it's like, okay, great. And I go and I walk outside and I see the funnel. I'm like, oh shit, you know, that's like really close to my house. And I took pictures. I probably sent it to you guys when it happened. It was like 2-3 years ago. It's been a while, but yeah, and it was scary. You know, thankfully it kind of skidded because I'm near the river, and it kind of just skidded around the river, so it didn't actually go into the neighborhood so much. But it was scary. Like, it's just, what do, you know? And the other one is more akin to what Sam was talking about. I went through a really crazy ice storm in '98. For people who don't know what that is it started raining like crazy at a below freezing temperature. So everything turned to ice. And the problem with that is all of the power lines went down because the ice was so heavy that it took down all of our power towers. So we spent weeks without electricity in the middle of a minus 30 degree weather. It was insane. Like I'll put a few pictures in the Discord. Like it was absolutely madness. Like I'll never forget it. You know, no one I knew had power. You run out of food really quick, and you know, people weren't ready for it. And no one had generators. You know, so people went like people who didn't know each other in the neighborhood would go to the person's house that had a fireplace. You know, it was nuts. It's just, you know, I had to drive. Well, not me. I was a teen, but we had to drive to my grandparents' house because they had a fire stove. It was like an hour and a half away. It's just, and I had to stay there for a few weeks because of that. And it's crazy. You don't think it's like that being a big issue because you never hear of ice storms, but when they hit hard.
Yeah. Was that in the 90s, Steve?
In 98. It hit the top of the US as well. We got hit the worst because I guess just where it was, but yeah, it was bad for a while there.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I was kind of young, but I do remember that being a big deal. I never dealt with really much here. I mean, just like blizzards, and I mean, we maybe had like a category 1 hurricane once, but it was never anything like major. Not like you were, especially, and Sam.
Yeah, I'll never forget the day that we got the ice storm started and we lost power. You can at least have your hot water tank reserve, you know, so you had hot water for a few days. Yeah. The first thing I did when the power went off is I took a super hot shower.
You bastard. Taking care of yourself.
And I took
I
took the whole water reserve.
Steve,
I didn't know it was gonna be that bad, you know. Like I thought we'd lose power for a couple hours. My dad was so pissed. It was great.
He's like, all right, well, at least we have hot water, guys. God
he
comes out of the shower with all the fucking steam. What's going on?
Oh, sorry.
there's nothing worse than taking a quick shower either.
Oh my God. Don't even talk to me about taking a cold shower, Joe. Every time there's been something has happened where the water heater's not on, like I'm just like, all right, move along, let me take a shower. So I'll take a shower in the fucking cold ass water, and then like when Joe's turn is to take a shower, he's like, hey, did you get any cold water? Or did you get any hot water? I'm like, no, I just took a cold shower, whatever. And he's like, well, I'm gonna wait until it gets hot. And it's like anytime he wants to take a shower, the hot water is back on, and I'm like, God damn it, Steve is really cracking up over this.
He's gotta text his dad and be like, hey, remember that one time? Sorry.
Oh my God, those laughs are the best.
20 years later.
Laughs.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, sorry. It's because I'm thinking of that scene in This Is the End where they're hoarding food and the guy like wakes up and makes all the biggest breakfast ever with all the food.
I love that movie so much. That's one of my favorite movies.
That's basically what I did to my family, but with the hot water.
That's a good movie.
Oh my God.
Channing Tate-Young.
Yeah. My poor dad.
So funny. You should message him later.
Right. Remember in 98 when I took that really hot shower and took all the hot water for the biggest disaster in our lifetime? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. All right. So next question is from Cody, Odd Jobbers 007. One of my favorite movie theater experiences was seeing Twister during a thunderstorm. Sorry, fuck. When you lose it, you lose it. Seeing Twister during a thunderstorm / tornado warning. Sorry, it's been a weird.
You right there, bud. Take a minute.
Steve deserves a good laugh.
Yeah. All right. I'll ask the second question because it's shorter.
Steve, I can't. I'm just picturing you like.
He left.
I'm just pictured him like in a white towel and like his skin's beet red and he's just sweating from how hot this shower is.
We need to crack a window, guys.
Meanwhile, his family's like freezing to death out in the living room.
Have you guys ever been in an earthquake before?
No. I can
just
imagine
like
that'd be
small
scary.
Ones,
yeah,
but nothing crazy.
Me and my sister would always make fun of my mom, saying like, "We're not gonna get hurt in the earthquake. We'll get hurt from my mom's response to the earthquake." Because she fucking, when the earthquake's happening, because you sleep through them eventually. But my mom would fucking like get up and fucking drag your ass by your collar out of your bed. You'd be stubbing your toe and shit. It's hilarious. No, but there's a giant one, and I think it was '94. I was like 6 or 7 or so, where like Northridge one, it was like the biggest one ever in like a populated area. It was like right outside of Los Angeles, so about an hour from my house. And yeah, it fucking collapsed like freeways and everything. It was crazy. Steve's still going.
He popped it, but
Jeez. You need to call your dad.
Yeah. Oh my God, my eyes are watering.
Like we broke Steve.
Steve finally broke him, huh? Broke himself.
Oh shit. Oh man.
Sorry, I'm fucking talking. Oh my God. All right. Oh my God.
Oh shit.
You would think I'm high or something. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? All right. Question from Cody. I can't. I just can't. You guys gonna have to finish the question. It's on the Discord. I just can't right now. Okay, question from Cody. Favorite Bill Paxton movie? See, I can't.
You need to go take a walk or something.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Can you guys read the questions as of Odd Job versus 007?
Yeah. Hold
on. I got him.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. From Odd Job 007, because if you guys are listening, Steve has lost his mind and cannot stop laughing about how he took all the hot water in a natural super bad event or whatever. Odd Job. One of my favorite movie theater experiences was seeing Twister during a thunderstorm tornado warning. You could hear it raging outside during the movie. Has anyone ever in the squad had a similar experience? I guess watching a movie while there was a thing going on. Sam?
Ooh, I have. I feel like later on in life, anytime there was a tornado going on in Wichita, it was always when I was at the movie theater. So we would just drive, we had to leave and we would just always drive the opposite direction that it was at. And it was scary. Everyone's driving crazy. I'm like, are we going to make it? I mean, I'm sure we were fine, but I don't know. It's you're not prepared. It's the pets are at home.
Yeah.
What do you do?
How many alerts did you get a year, do you think, average?
Oh my gosh. Probably one every few weeks.
Oh, dang, that much?
Mm-hmm. It was a lot, as I was younger, than probably the last 5 years that I lived there. It's probably maybe, I don't know, a couple times spring and summer season. It was always really bad in the early spring. When the temperature was, it could never make up its mind if it wanted to be hot or cold,
I watched Krampus in a blizzard. That was fun, but nothing crazy.
Nothing
yeah, no.
Yeah, same for me. We were recording an episode when I had a tornado warning go off. I said, "Shut the fuck up."
Oh, I remember that.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That Todd split like a banana.
Mm-hmm.
Odd Job also says favorite Bill Paxton movie, scene, or dialogue.
Ooh.
He's a great actor, man. It's Taken Too Soon. One of those guys for sure.
I got one for that is for sure. I love him in True Lies.
You got a tiny dick.
It's pathetic. I love Bill Paxton. He's fucking amazing and everything, but his role in True Lies is probably my favorite one. It's just so he's so annoying and you want to hate him, but because it's Bill Paxton, you fucking just love him of how pathetic he is, and it's great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna
go for it.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
All right, I was gonna say that one too. That's my guess. The obvious answer is Aliens, Hudson, but I'll go with something a little bit smaller. Coconut Pete, Club Dread.
Yes.
He's just he's fucking good.
That's a great movie.
His song, he's just late. He's just great.
Pina Colada Berg.
Yeah, it's a good song too.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with one I believe made my top 10 of the decade list. One that I think is still super underrated, and that's Frailty. He played the father in Frailty, and it was a great performance.
And I'm gonna have to say I can't think of any Bill Paxton
performances
besides Twister. Give me some that I might know
Then
of.
Twister's your favorite then.
Yes, thanks, Todd.
He was in the Titanic.
He was?
Yeah.
He's the guy in the present. Yeah. Looking for the necklace.
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy Rose fucks over. She's like, oh, yeah, have you found the heart of the ocean? No, I've had it the whole fucking time. I've been hiding it. She makes him she gets like a free helicopter ride and plane ride out there, and she fucking has it in her fucking pocket.
I like this animosity to Rose. I love it.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
Move over on the fucking piece of log, Rose.
Guy's been searching for this thing his whole entire career, and she's just hiding it. And she's like, oh yeah, have you found it yet? By the way, like, and then she just throws it in the ocean at the end. Like, fuck Rose, man, bitch.
Fuck Rose, dude. I'm on team fuck Rose for sure.
Yeah.
Justice for Jack.
Right.
We love Jack.
And then, unless you want to take him over, Steve, he's got one more.
All right. Yeah, I'll take it back. Any special gift/gifts everyone is hoping to receive this holiday season?
Oh, I got my own gifts. I was just telling off the air. I bought a 70-inch TV.
Good.
So I'm very excited for that. And a
HDR,
soundbar.
I hope. Gosh damn it! Return it if it's not fucking you bastard. 4K HDR 10.
Come on, Joe.
Yeah, it's 4K.
All right.
4K UHD.
Oh my god.
It was on sale. It was only $500. Okay. So,
I mean anything
like
is an upgrade for us.
It is, yeah. Like I got a shitty Emerson that's like 10 years old. So like my laptop, which I bought a new laptop as well. So it'll be coming in. But yeah, other than that.
You remind me of my friend that was like still using RCA cables for a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can get an HDMI cable, right? He's like, what? And he got one. He's like, dude, it's fucking amazing. Like, what's wrong with you? Welcome to high def, Joe.
Yeah, thank you. But other than that, I don't know. There's nothing like I'm really eyeing this year. As far I've actually like slowed down on collecting recently too. I'll get back into it eventually, I'm sure. But yeah, no, there's nothing out there right now that I've had like my eye on. So we'll see. Sam got something. I got Sam her Christmas present early.
Oh, sure. Rub it in everyone's face.
It's a little too early.
And then rub it in my face because we'll do a recap of what everyone got for Christmas. And then people will remember, oh, well, Joe got Sam this, but Sam only got Joe socks and undies.
And a tie.
That's all I need.
And a tie. Well, Joe just purchased me. It's a birthday and Christmas gift. And we were watching QVC, like it was just on the other day. And they had this little, like, this small treadmill. And it's like, it's very compact. And it's like, I've been working on my fitness, working out and stuff. And I tell Joe, I'm like, I would watch movies with you if I could literally just like walk in place or have a treadmill. So yeah, he got me this little treadmill. We found a similar one on Amazon. So hopefully it works. So wish us luck.
It's funny because my wife was just hinting that I should ask for a treadmill for Christmas. I wonder why.
That you should ask?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Well,
After
Joe
she
was
made
like,
me eat
if
out
you
every
really
day.
want this. And I was like, all right, I get it.
That's exactly what I told her too. I'm like, yeah, I can put it in front of my TV and fucking watch movies. Gosh damn it. I should know.
It's good.
As for gifts, I would have to like look for stuff that I would like, there's nothing that pops into my mind. So I'm just saying like a couple books here and there, and I'll be content this year.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like I tend to buy myself anything I want. So by the time like a holiday rolls around, I don't know what to ask for. But I did buy myself something on Black Friday that is pretty much the only thing I really wanted. I bought myself the entire Universal Monsters collection on Blu-ray, which is 30 films, ranging from like the Dracula all the way to the 3 Creature from the Black Lagoon movies. I just feel it's like a big hole in my horror knowledge. Like I've seen the big ones a long time ago, but I haven't seen a lot of the sequels and offshoots and stuff like that. And honestly, I told myself 2022, I'm going to plow all through them and reacquaint myself with them. So that's.
I want you, Steve, after you go through them all, to pick your favorite one, and we should review it for the show.
Yeah, sounds good.
Maybe more of like a obscure one, I guess. Your favorite obscure one.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like I can tell you right now, it's either a Frankenstein or a Creature from the Black Lagoon, or my two favorite from memory. But yeah, I'll let you know which one which one we could do.
Cool.
All right. And the last question we have this week is from our buddy Mondo. It says, I need to hear about Black Friday purchases and any stories you had working through one. Looking at you in the sex store, Steve.
Do sex stores have a Black Friday too?
No. So, sorry to disappoint Mondo. At least we didn't. They didn't when I had them. I'd even say that it was probably like the holidays, Christmas Eve, Christmas, all throughout New Year was probably our like most dead period, because this is sad to say, but all the men who would rent or buy porn didn't, like, their families weren't away because they were with them, so they couldn't sneak out and buy porn. So the time when there was holidays and stuff would often be our, like, you know, kind of short period where nothing really happened. So like Boxing Day and Black Friday and stuff like that typically weren't that busy.
Steve, maybe you know, what is the deal with, like, on road trips having so many sex shops off the freeway? Is that, you guys notice that too, right?
I would assume because it was the truckers.
They're going in there to jerk off, and then
I assume it's because it's not like near your neighborhood or where you work, and so it's more.
That's a good point.
Like
having run 7 of these stores, I would say it's zoning. A lot of cities won't allow sex shops within a certain amount of kilometers from school, from the, you know, anything like court or whatever building they decide, or they don't want them at all within their city limits, or they only allow 1 license per city limit. So a lot of strip clubs and sex shops have to fit outside of those limits so they can get their license to have a store.
Gotcha.
That's at least what we faced. Now, we were lucky because we usually had the only license for the cities we were in, so we had no competition at all until the internet. And that kind of killed us. But yeah, that's the reason I would assume they're there. But yeah, I wish I had better stories. Honestly, there's no such thing as, you know, a rush, at least back then. And we did movies more than products, and it's just normal business, really.
I'll have to ask Katie if she had a sale at her shop.
Right. Although I will say, I worked at a bookstore one year during Boxing Day, which is like our Black Christmas in Canada, and it was like fucking insane. Just the amount of people, the line was like unheard of. The only time I had seen a bigger line was when Harry Potter was released for the 5th book, which when I was there, and it was like insane. But other than that, it was just like, yeah, because people ask questions and they expect better sales, and they put books everywhere, and it's just like, it was a mess. I hate it.
I know Sam worked retail on Black Friday. Was there any crazy stories, Sam? Or
I mean, nothing in particular. I kind of blocked that time out of my brain, but it would just always be like fucking older, like bitchy white women. Like, just they would always talk about how they were spending their husband's money, and I was just like, oh, that must be fucking nice.
And you said, "You go, girl," when you high-fived.
I was
and
like,
threw in an extra little pair of undies for her. We all know the truth.
All right, Todd.
I worked loss prevention at retail, so it was always crazy because people are fucking insane, especially when they're trying to steal like fucking cheap ass shit and getting fights over it and stuff like that. But you already know those stories, Mono, because we worked there together. But on Black Friday, it's like impossible because there's like hundreds of people in the store and you can't watch everybody, and people are just stealing shit and breaking stuff, fucking pushing people. People are so nuts. I don't go out like at all during the seasons.
Well, I was just reading an article actually how like Black Friday this year was like dead because like it's just not that big of a deal anymore because like everything's online now. So like they even do the Black Friday deals online now. So it's like
all week too.
Yeah, exactly. So like people just aren't going out, which I think is great. Like because like I used to actually enjoy the chaos when I was younger. I used to go out when I was like 21, 22. I was like, oh, this is great. Like I just watching everyone go fucking insane. But like now I'm like, oh, fuck that. I was like, I'd rather spend the $400 extra and just not deal with it. But I'm thankful that they carried it over to online.
It's funny. You know, there are a lot of weird like Canadian stereotypes where we're all nice and stuff, and a lot of them are false, to be honest. But the one that is true from my experience is you watch Black Friday in the US and people like fucking rush to store like they're running away from zombies. But having been to like, well, Boxing Days are equivalent to a Boxing Day event, you go into the store, everyone walks in gently, the staff is there clapping for you as you enter the store. It's like such a different experience.
So lame.
Yeah, I know it's It's odd. It's just that's
we
from
do
my
everything a
experience.
little bit to the max here,
right?
You know that.
Yeah, but I didn't see anything too crazy this year. But like you said, I mean, with online and everything, yeah, and it's like Black Friday week, and I'm sure at some point it'll be Black Friday month, and these things just tend to extend. And now it's Cyber Monday, and it's just doesn't make sense anymore to go through that for towels on sale or whatever shit people fight over. It's always the weirdest stuff, dude. TVs and like the weird like towels or toilet paper. It's strange times.
Or the hot toy. I remember my dad got knocked over Tickle Me Elmo. Like when Tickle Me Elmo was huge, my dad got like knocked over and like thrown into a display. It was like something out of like Jingle All the Way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That was probably
come up swinging.
Turbo Man.
That's got to be probably the hottest like toy one year, right? Like in my existence that I can remember where people actually fought each other for it. Tickle Me Elmo was probably the biggest one.
Furby was pretty big too. I don't know. I feel like Furby was
Beanie Babies too were pretty
good. Yeah, Tickle Me Elmo was probably the biggest though. I do agree with you. Furby I would say Furby was a close second. Those are like the two biggest I can remember.
Yeah,
I had a Furby. And did any of you guys have a Furby? I had a Furby.
They're fucking possessed by the devil, dude. It'd be like 2 a.m, like play with me.
I was thankfully too old for both Furby and Tickle Me Elmo. I was like in late high school, so it would have been weird.
My dad ended up getting that Tickle Me Elmo too for my niece. I remember, and like she like didn't give a shit about it. Obviously, it's like, oh great,
classic kid stuff, dude.
Yeah.
There's still stuff like that. It's just now you mostly hunt for it online. I know last year I was trying to get my niece something called a Hatchimal, where it's like an egg.
Oh yeah, we have a shit ton of those here, man. Shit on me.
Yeah, well, now they're everywhere. But I think it was last year or 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. It was like insane. Like you couldn't find them anywhere. It was just one of those things, I guess. All right. So thank you everyone for the questions. Sorry for the little craziness in the middle there. It seems I need a coffee, and what better way to get a coffee than with Deadly Grounds coffee?
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
All right, what watched?
Yes, sir. Sam and I actually watched a lot of movies this weekend. So we'll save some for next week too, because Thanksgiving hangover, you just kind of sit on the couch and watch movies all weekend. It's a beautiful thing. So the first one we watched is a 2021 release, one of the newest from A24, and that would be Lamb. I had pretty big, I wouldn't say big expectations, but I was like a little hyped for this one, obviously, because it's A24 and a movie about a half lamb, half human hybrid was just interesting enough as it is. But yeah, so this one is set in Iceland. Beautiful landscaping throughout like the entire movie. But yeah, so it is a foreign horror film. And yeah, I mean, basically like what you've seen, if you've seen the trailers, like it's basically what you get out of this movie. Basically the movie opens where something that we don't see goes into a barn and kind of attacks like a herd of lamb or whatever. Flash forward, we follow this couple who we come to find out has lost their daughter. And they're dealing with the grief of that when all of a sudden one day a lamb gives birth to a half human, half lamb hybrid, and they end up just taking care of it and treat it like their own child, as kind of a, I guess like a support system for themselves, like dealing with the grief of their child. They're kind of replacing her with this half lamb, half human child. And yeah, I mean, we follow them raising her and dealing with that. And I mean, that's basically the whole movie up until the ending where we get a twist, which obviously I will not give away. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed this one. I could definitely see a lot of people not liking this one because it is slow. It's a slow mover for sure. There's not like a lot of dialogue in it too. I would say we probably go the first 25 minutes of this movie without an ounce of dialogue. But it's beautiful to look at. It's very well acted, and I will not forget this movie for a while. Like the ending, like I audibly like said, and Sam was with me. Like I audibly was like, "What the fuck?" And like I don't do that often when I watch movies, but this movie made me say it. So yeah, I think it will probably make my top 10. It'll be towards the bottom of my top 10, but it was memorable, and yeah, overall I dug it.
It was all right. Will I forget about it? No, because it's about a fucking child who's half human and half lamb. Was she adorable?
Yes.
The lamb part of her was. But yeah, I agree with Joe. Like the acting was good. I spoiled it for myself though, because did I spoil that one for myself, or was it the other one we watched?
No, you did, because you said you were scared. You were afraid.
Yeah,
I was
scared.
Abuse.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like animal like sexual abuse, and so I wanted to make sure that that's not what I was watching. But even with me spoiling it for myself, I was still able to watch the movie.
How horror is it? I know I heard that some people think it's not really horror. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
I don't know. It's like, what is horror? I feel like it's kind of like it could be what, like a black magic or Satanism, satanic movie, but it's like barely dipping your big toe in a puddle of water. It's like nothing.
Yeah. The horror doesn't come in until really the end of the movie. So, it's really mainly a drama, but the ending gets batshit crazy, and that's, it's not a lot of horror. Maybe you get like 5 minutes of horror in the whole movie. It's more like folklore, really, like, like a folk tale, more than anything. But I think, there's enough there, because like, what are you going to categorize it as? Because it's such like a bizarre movie. That borderline, I guess you could say, but I think there's enough in there to call it a horror movie.
Yeah, I was hoping it'd be like a Dark and a Wicked type movie, but it doesn't sound.
Yeah, like no, it's not. No,
that's too bad. All right, Todd, what have you been watching, if anything? Because I know you were on vacation. So
we did two family classics from 1993: The Sandlot and Miss Doubtfire. Amazing films in their own regard. Miss Doubtfire is amazing. Robert Williams, amazing. Rest in peace. Sandlot's fucking. Coming of age tale, perfect. Miss Doubtfire is just like got a lot of layers to it. It's amazing. But horror related, I watched one today called Dead Space, not related to the movie, not related to the video game, sorry. This one's from 1991. It has an amazing, awesome poster. If you look it up, Dead Space looks cool. It's a skeleton and an astronaut, like space suit or whatever, over on Tubi. And yeah, this isn't a straight Aliens ripoff. Bryan Cranston plays a really young scientist in it. It's got to be one of the first roles. He's so young in it, but they're doing some like, I don't know, bacterial virus thingy mabobber on a space station, and of course it gets out. This pilot / soldier, I don't even know what the fuck he is, comes with a robot to help them because they send a distress signal, and then it's so boring. I just lost interest in it. It's a super short movie too, but I was like, I don't even care anymore. It's like one of those Sam folding laundry movies. I did like the creature. It's all practical. Bryan Cranston, it's cool seeing him in a younger role. But other than that, like the poster is the best thing in this movie. So Dead Space 1991. And of course, I talked about The Exorcist earlier. The book, it's amazing. I cannot wait to rewatch the movie because I'm really into The Exorcist right now. So maybe we should consider watching that one of these days. But that's all I got.
Yeah, I agree with you on Dead Space. I had it on my watch like a year ago, and it's just,
you did
kind of the same thing. Like it's just
cool poster though.
Well, I got sold on the freaking poster. Like,
that poster's not in the movie though.
No, but that's typical. I saw it on Tubi, and that's typical Tubi. Just you can't judge a movie by its Tubi cover. That's for sure. So my first one this week is a movie, of course, 2021, because I'm still going for my 100. Is a movie on Shudder called The Strings. So this one is about a girl who goes to a cabin in Quebec, and she wants to like explore her music, and she wants to release an experimental music album. So she goes to this secluded cabin and just kind of, you know, messes around with her music and just lives in this really like desolate winter landscape on her own. And then there's this strange male figure that starts kind of haunting her. At first she sees it from a like really far distance, and throughout the movie it starts getting closer and closer to her until something happens. This movie's like an hour 20 minutes, but really is 10 minutes long of actual movie, and an hour of 10 minutes of just a girl doing normal things in the house. Like you see her go through 5 complete sets of her music, like, and it's experimental music, like where she takes a sound in a room and starts like slowly manipulating the noise, and then she brings in like a small beat, and then she starts like humming into the microphone, and it goes on and on and on. Then you get to watch her do the dishes for a little while, and then you watch her take a cigarette break, then you watch her take a shower, and then you watch her take a like a nap. It's
Hold on. Back up to the shower part. I'm just kidding.
It's so fucking boring. Like it just drags on and on and on. The 10 minutes where it's actually horror are actually not bad, and for that I kind of appreciated it. I liked how isolated the whole movie felt. It reminded me a little bit of a movie I talked about maybe a month ago called Devil's Island, where it was also about a girl living alone in like a house, except she was on a little island in 1,000 islands, whereas this girl is in just a cabin in the wilderness. Like she's just like a town around her, like a small town, but no one lives there for some reason. You don't see anyone else. It's so strange. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Honestly, it's too boring. There's too much of her just doing nothing. It's very artsy, but it is well shot. The horror in it is pretty good. And yeah, that's it. So it just came out like a couple days ago, and it's on Shudder. That's The Strings.
Sam, which one do you want to talk about? We got 3. We got There's Someone Inside Your House, Paranormal Activity Next to Kin, or Don't Breathe 2. And we'll save the other 2 for next week.
Do Don't Breathe.
All right, Don't Breathe 2. So Don't Breathe 2 is a direct sequel from the original Don't Breathe, which was a pretty successful horror movie, I would say. It was met with quite a lot of fanfare, so they decided to make a sequel. So in this one, we follow the blind man, who is now basically our main character in this one. He has basically been in hiding for the past 8 years after the events of the first movie, where he is now taking care of a little girl. And I won't really explain how he obtains this little girl, but because I don't spoilers, but basically what happens is these criminals end up breaking into his house now, and basically the tables have turned, sort of, I guess, where he is the good guy, sort of, and now he has to fight these new criminals from not really taking over the house. They have an agenda, but I don't want to get into it if you haven't seen it yet. So I'll leave it at that. Overall, I found this movie completely unnecessary. Like it just rehashed a lot of stuff from the first movie. And just like a really odd choice, making like the blind man sort of the protagonist. I mean, he's really more of an anti-hero, I guess I would call him in this one, because he admits that he's not a good guy and stuff, but it's just like a really weird choice, like kind of making him the focal point of the movie, and at times making him a sympathetic character after all the fucked up shit he did in the last movie. But yeah, there was not much new here. Now, with that being said, there was some good stuff here. Like I really thought there was some really great kills. There was some good gore. But overall, not something I would watch again. And middle of the road. It wasn't the worst thing I watched this year, but disappointing.
And I, for the most part, agree with Joe. No, I fully agree with him. Yeah, I was just kind of confused because I was like, all right, they want us to root for this guy. Like, how can I? And then they try to pull on my heartstrings by making him a great dog owner. And I'm like, I see what you're doing here. It's not going to work with me, sir. Have either one of you guys seen it, Todd or Steve?
Yeah, I watched it a couple weeks ago.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's got some stupid ass moments too. It's like you're kind of supposed to feel bad for the gang too at one point, but like at the beginning, they brutally murder a good character, the only good character besides the girl in this movie. In the van, he beats her over the head multiple times. I'm like,
yeah,
who's good in this? Like nobody except the little girl, obviously. But yeah, that movie is just fucking like, stop at one. It's done. And then at the end, he's like, I'm a rapist and a murderer. I'm like,
yeah.
What are we like? What are we going for in this scene? Like,
right.
Weird.
It is really weird. And like, yeah, it's just like, I don't know why they decided, like, who decided this was like a good script for the second movie. Cause like, I'm assuming they couldn't get that girl back or something like that from the first movie. Cause like the better movie would have been like him stalking her and going after her. And like, she is like the girl we should have been following her. Like, and like, you know,
or she comes back to his house to get revenge.
Yeah, something like that. That would have been the better movie here. Whereas like this movie, I was like, is this a sequel? Because like I was like confused for a long part of this movie, and then it takes a while because I'm like, okay, like where is he? Like where the fuck did this girl come from? They don't explain it until about 45 minutes to an hour into this movie, and then like stuff starts to make sense. But like it's really weird.
All right, but also besides like the character in the movie, the actor who plays the blind man,
he's great.
Hubba. He's how old is he, Joe? 79 years old.
He's old, 70 something anyway.
70 something, and I'm like, damn, babe, look at you.
You should watch him in Avatar then, Sam. You might
he's
feel
an
a
Avatar?
girl boner from that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the main villain in it.
Yeah, he's like this military dude.
Mm-hmm. He's coming back for the sequels, I assume.
Yes.
Did he die?
No,
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, but will I be able to tell it's him in Avatar?
Yeah, for sure.
He's 69, by the way.
69.
There you go.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, he's great. I mean, he's a great actor, and he's good in this movie. But he the script is not. Yeah, the script isn't good here.
Do you got anything else?
Okay.
So my last movie this week is another 2021 film. This one you can find over on Tubi, and it's a movie called Like Dogs. So this one I had written on my list of things to watch, and I didn't remember why. But then like a minute into the movie, I saw who directed it, and it was somebody from Geek Legacy, which is a podcast I've been following for like a decade. And when I do that Don't Be Crazy podcast, that's an offshoot of that podcast. And he wrote and directed it, and I totally forgot about it. So I was like, oh shit, cool. So this one is about a girl who wakes up in like almost kind of a cage type structure with a collar on. And she doesn't know what to do. She's tied to the wall. And these like mysterious people start feeding her like meat in a platter on the floor and giving her like a water bowl. And then you come to find out that they're basically treating her like a dog in a kennel. And the scientists are kind of trying to get her to do stuff, and when she doesn't comply, they shock her collar, which makes her obey and stuff. And later on, they introduce like a male who's also being treated like a dog, and he's like a few cages down, so they can talk to each other. And then each time they get knocked out, they're like closer to each other. It's almost like they're introducing each other, and it's like this whole experimental film about how humans would react if they're treated like dogs in a kennel. And it's a really interesting concept, and I will say it takes a lot of twists and turns that I did not expect, and maybe a few too many, if you ask me. Like the movie goes in one way and then goes another way and then goes back to the way it was and then to a whole other way, and maybe there are just too many things going on at once. But the concept is interesting. It's a very low budget film, but as far as low budget films go, I thought it was pretty good. It was interesting. The characters were the people like being held as dogs were believable. The scientists a little less so. This seems to me like a university project because everyone's like pretty young except for one character. You know, it's like the scientists are a little too young to be believable, but they kind of explain the story. Anyway, it's just like, it's what I call low budget, like, you know, trying to make things work with the budget that you have and the actors that you have. But overall, I think it's worth a watch. You know, nothing I'd like go out of my way to go check out. But, and I might be a little biased because, you know, like I said, I've been following Geek Legacy for a long time. But as far as like 2B low budget films go, I think this is one of the better ones I've seen recently. So that's called Like Dogs.
Put it on my watch list.
Trivia?
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get some trivia questions out. Trying to find, like, you said that was on Tubi?
I saw it on Tubi. I think it's also on.
Yeah, it's on
Prime.
Tubi. I see it.
Must love dogs.
What is? Isn't that like Julia Roberts or something?
Marley and Me.
Marley and Me. Old Yeller.
And no actual dogs in the movie. So
Airbud. All right, trivia. This is game number 46. The record is as follows: Todd, myself, and lead with 112. Steve, second place, 109. Joe, third place, 106. Sam, 75. I'm gonna lead off. I feel like I get a little warm up when I start. Is everyone ready?
yes.
All right. This is from Miss Kayla, who all of my questions are from Kayla tonight. Thank you very much. In the movie Frogs, if you haven't seen it, it doesn't matter because you don't need to have seen it to get this answer right. In the movie Frogs, how many toads and frogs were purchased during the film? Closest wins.
500.
500.
Which don't we need to see it because like
It
there's
is.
No, you don't.
frogs.
There's a lot of frogs. It's killer frogs. Multiple frogs, killer frogs. A lot of
All
frogs.
right. 23.
23.
I'm gonna go like 700.
Oh,
It's
all
maybe
right.
600.
That means
it's
Steve won.
600. Yeah.
I do it.
Wow, right in the
Who gets it?
middle.
Yeah, who gets it then? Both
Double
of yous.
points.
Fuck no, you don't get double points. I'm gonna come up with something else.
New question.
All right, rock paper scissors for it.
I think the lag
Do
would
it.
ruin that.
That's true.
Ask us a twister question as a tiebreaker.
Twister question. All right.
Oh.
All right. Let me pull it up. Okay. Think fast, everybody. Twister. What is the name of the contraption they use to try to hunt twisters with?
Dorothy.
Fucking Joe, you gotta be quicker than that. Yes.
Sorry.
Son of a bitch. All right.
All right, I'll go next then.
All right.
My questions are also all from Kayla. So thank you very much, Kayla, for the questions. Tagline. Your favorite. It doesn't think. It doesn't feel. It doesn't give up.
What the fuck is that?
The Thing.
Nope.
That's a good guess.
Blob.
It follows.
That's correct.
Oh,
It
good
follows.
job.
Blob is? Oh wait, it follows?
Yeah, it is
Hey.
fun.
Ooh,
Very nice.
okay. Nice. Fuck that movie.
All right.
Hey, that was a one that a lot of people either loved or hated.
Yeah, I didn't.
Mhm.
I liked it.
Which one? Oh, it follows.
It
I gotta
Follows.
rewatch it.
As
All
do
right.
I.
How many stomach crunches does Patrick Bateman do every morning?
600.
in American Psycho. 600 on the board.
300.
300.
I'll go.
More than me. Let's just say that.
Let's
0.
go 450.
600 is the winner. The correct answer
Oh,
is
Tom.
1,000.
Oh,
Damn.
Oh.
Washboard abs, dude.
Yeah.
I can do about
Wow.
30.
Really?
I'm almost there. All right, Samsonite.
All right. These trivia questions also come from Kayla. Hopefully, they don't sound familiar to Tom.
I'm not saying anything this time.
You're a brat.
Rest your shark.
Alrighty. Okay. The Fly Remake in 1986 was a remake of a movie with the same name, released in
Price.
what year?
Damn,
58.
1954.
1955.
We got 58, 54, and Steve gets a point for 1958.
No, I gotta say,
Right.
it's probably my fourth The Fly point this year. So,
Oh, all right.
yeah, there's Be Afraid. there's a few of them that keep popping up. Love it.
All right, Kayla has brought a name the character
Oh,
question.
Oh Christ!
What is the name of the lead character in The Babadook?
It's
The mom.
I
Sarah.
was gonna say the Babadook.
What'd you say, Sam?
Sarah.
Sarah and the Babadook are on the board.
Carrie.
Julie.
Carrie and Julie. The answer is Amelia, which I saw that movie once, and that was enough. That fucking kid, man.
That kid, man. Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Props to him. He did a great job being annoying.
Yeah.
Just like Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
All right. Which Donald Sutherland / Sissy Spacek ghost film was released in 2006?
Oh shit. Oh. Fuck. I've seen this movie.
Can you repeat the question, Steve?
Sure.
An American Ghost Story.
A
Classic ghost story. I know.
You're very close.
An American Haunting.
That sounds
close.
right.
You're missing some. You're missing some words in there.
America Scream.
No, Todd was really close. Joe was. Yeah.
What? The American Haunting.
No, you're missing a word.
The American Haunting in
Classic American Haunting.
You guys are sick.
An American Haunting. What the? I'm missing one word.
You're missing a word. Yeah, somewhere.
And American Haunting. Fuck, I don't know. An American Haunting. Anything else added? It sounds like it'd be weird.
All right, you guys give up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
It's An American Horror Haunting.
Oh, that's lame. It's such a lame title.
That is lame. American Haunting sounds better.
I bet that movie sucked ass too.
I don't remember it being good. Yeah.
An American
American
Haunting
Horror
probably
Haunting.
existed already.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Let's add horror to it. That'll make it edgy.
All right. In Child's Play 3, what is the name of the school Andy attends?
Is it something like horror related?
Shit.
No.
Military Academy. Fuck. It's my favorite one.
Let's go Mancini Military Academy.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good
Really?
one.
No.
Oh. You said it like you got it right.
Yeah.
Or at least I was on the right track.
I don't know. Darn.
All right. Sam, you give up?
No, I give up.
Okay. The correct answer is Kent Military School.
Oh,
Fuck. Yeah.
so easy.
It's a good one, man. I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sam?
Darn it.
Alrighty. Next question is, what is the name of the isolated island upon which the Wicker Man is set?
I was going to say Shutter Island, but it's not it. Name?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Wicker Man in a long time.
I just rewatched it a couple of years ago, but I still don't remember.
I don't like that movie.
You don't like it?
Not a fan.
It's
no.
a bit slow to get going.
Newfoundland.
Newfoundland? No, it's not.
Greece.
I don't
I
know.
don't know. Island.
It
You're
would
missing
be-
a word, Todd.
Wait, ready? This is
It would be
island.
Summer Isle.
I said that. Oh wait.
I said that.
I said it. Summer Isle. All right. Question number 3 from Kayla. At the end of the movie Poltergeist, the original one, what did the dad move outside of the motel room?
The TV.
Correct,
Yeah,
Joseph.
damn it.
Good job, Joe.
And you guys said the remake sucked ass?
Yeah.
Terrible. Like really terrible.
Like terrible? Oh well.
Terrible.
It's not good.
All right. Well, guess I'll watch it.
All right. In I Know What You Did Last Summer,
Oh no.
what is the name of the man the teens think they killed?
Fucking Davy Crockett.
Dig deep, Sam.
Ben Senior.
Yep, I'll take it.
Nice.
Wait, who?
Said Ben Senior. It's Ben Willis, but that's accurate as well. So
I thought it was David Egan.
nope, Ben Willis.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Kayla is never wrong.
Good job,
But I
Sam.
thought she says in the movie his name was David Egan, like
That's the guy who killed himself, who jumped off the cliff.
right.
And
That's who they
then-
thought they killed.
No, they thought they killed the
Controversy.
dad.
Okay,
Yeah,
Kayla.
all
it's gonna-
right.
Well,
Next week,
Caleb,
Kayla's gonna fire
Kayla
back.
submitted the question, so sorry.
Controversy. I
All
like
right.
it.
What would Joe know? He's only seen I Know What You Did Last Summer like once. All right, my turn.
Yes.
No, it's
No,
Joe
Joe.
first.
Fine.
Oh, I got one more.
He's
He's not even
Googling
paying
fucking
attention.
He's Googling the movie.
He is.
Well, sorry, Caleb supplied that answer, so.
Well, hey, it's okay. What are the zombies called?
Give me my point.
1968 film Night of the Living Dead.
Ghouls.
Correct.
Yeah, damn it.
Hey,
Good job, Todd.
thank you.
All right, Sam.
Steve had that one if I wasn't.
I did. Yeah.
All right. This is a deep cut. You guys ready?
Like this.
How should I do it? Should I do it as a tagline or should I say, guess what movie I am?
Guess
like
what movie
guess what
I am.
movies.
Yeah, we do a lot of taglines. So.
All right. Well, I'm going to add the tagline in there. Okay.
Okay.
All righty. So I came out in 1996.
Twister.
This is what I'm about.
Better not be fucking Twister.
This is what I'm about. Okay, hang on. Okay. I star.
It's windy. That's intense.
All right, listen. Okay. I star John Schneider along with Amos Crawley and with a certain heartthrob named Devon Sawa.
Like idle hands.
The residents of a small town come face to face with a deadly and unpredictable series of tornadoes.
Final Destination. Oh, wait.
Series of tornadoes.
There's tornadoes.
In 96, Devon Sawa?
This is probably the alternate to Twister that no one saw.
Twisties.
Yeah.
I was released on TV on a Sunday or Tuesday night.
The Funnel.
Is this a popular movie?
Cloud.
Yes, if you're into tornado movies, you should know this one.
So it came out
Storm
Chaser. Twister. It might be like something goofy like Funnels, though. I think you might be on the right track, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can guess anything Twister related, because I don't think you guys are gonna. I mean, obviously you don't know what it is. So.
Tornado F5.
So what is it? I give up.
It's called Night of the Twisters.
Really?
Yes,
That's
it's
like a
such
Goosebumps title.
No, it's a fun. I remember they released this on TV, and I became obsessed with it.
Was it good though, or was it like?
Yes, it was good. It's good.
Good.
I might even pick it for my birthday movie now. The other one might get bumped down, Todd.
Ooh,
I don't know. Is that even available?
Night of the Twister. I'm gonna look it up. Night of the Titty Twisters.
I just see it's available on Amazon to buy. So
it's like a total ripoff of the fucking Twister poster.
You can buy it on DVD for $65.
Oh, great!
I'll buy them all for us. Yeah, no one's watching this.
I don't even see it on my list of like movies.
$57.96 on Amazon.
Does it have another like alternate title maybe?
No, Night of the Twisters.
Nope.
I don't see it at all.
Based off of the book. Joe, did you find the answer you were looking for?
It's on my letterbox, Steve. Is that weird?
No, I was looking at the Canadian like streaming.
Oh, yeah. Nowhere to see to stream. I mean, interesting.
But it's probably on YouTube for free.
It probably is on YouTube.
All right, Todd. What are the scores?
All right. Current standings are
Todd.
the same. First place for myself, 115. Steve, 111. Joe, 107. Sam, 76. That concludes number 46. We're coming down the wire. There's 4 episodes?
Yeah.
I think only 3, right? Where we do trivia because we don't do it in the last episode.
Right. Well, it depends how close it is. Maybe we'll have to.
That's true. All right. Twister?
Yes. Sweet.
1996. Sweet. You come with me. You're going to have to pronounce the director's name, Steve.
Jan de Bont.
Okay, that's not as hard as I thought it would be. All right, Bill and Joe Harding, advanced storm chasers on the brink of divorce, must join together to create an advanced weather alert system by putting themselves in the crosshairs of extremely violent tornadoes. So Bill Paxton plays a gentleman that's like, he's tired of the storm chasing business. You know what I mean? He wants to settle down. He's become a nice, safe weatherman. He's got this new potential wife, fiance, that he takes along with him to go meet his ex-wife so she can sign the divorce papers. That's kind of fucked up, Bill, but we won't go there. She's got her whole crew together, played by Helen Hunt. Bill Paxton was a guy. She's the leader of the crew now. They got this Dorothy thing, this experimental weather chasing device where they, in theory, set up the device in a tornado. It releases all these little tracking radar things that goes in a tornado so they can start the funnel. So he meets her basically in the middle of a storm saying, "Hey, Joe, you need to sign these divorce papers. I got my new wife with me. She's young and hot. not as hot as you though. You're a little rustic hot, but whatever. He's got this nice new truck. Everyone's like, oh, we missed you, Bill. What's going on? She's got like 12 dudes that are all cool. I feel like Seymour Hoffman's in there. The dude from People Under Stairs, I forget his name, he's in there. And then yeah, like storm chasers start coming out, tornadoes start happening, he gets sucked right back into it, no pun intended. Meanwhile, you got Cara Elwes, who plays like the corporate, I guess, angle storm chasers, where Bill and Joe are kind of like the punk storm chasers, and Cara Elwes and his crew are like CNN. They don't fucking have the instincts that Bill does, and they're talking shit like, get off my radio band, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want, go do your weather reports. So we're following them along as Bill slowly gets sucked back into the life of storm chasing, realizes he's still in love with Joe, and they go on an adventure together. Love this movie, man. Like it's fun. I don't think it's horror by any means. It's very like fine line. If you want to put this disaster, you got to put everything else in it, I think. But overall, it's a fun movie. It's scary, especially when you're a kid, especially the opening scene when the dad gets sucked out of the fucking storm cellar. But yeah, like a ton of fun watching my kids recently. They all loved it. And is it corny? Absolutely. You have to turn off your brain for a lot of them. So, well, not a lot of it, but a few of the plot points, driving a truck through a house, things like that. But otherwise, man, it's a great movie.
Yeah, I completely agree. You know, I'm going to talk about specific parts a little later, but overall, like, this is definitely one of my guilty pleasure movies. I've seen it probably over 50 times at this point over the last, 25 years. And, when we talked about last week, I immediately wanted to watch it again, and I've seen it maybe twice already this year. It's a movie that comes on TV a lot for me here as well, so that's probably one of the reasons why I've seen it so much. But I just enjoy the shit out of it. And as far as is it horror, it's kind of like borderline, right? Because you're talking about real horror, I guess, versus I guess fake horror, or not fake horror, but like paranormal horror, things like that. But I will say, because I was looking at it with this eye this time as I was watching it last night, I feel more anxiety and just like holding my breath during this movie than I do a lot of horror films. So it made me think, like, what makes a horror film, And that feeling of like just holding my breath because I'm so into what's going on screen, and it's kind of terrifying. Like, the tornadoes are fucking relentless in this movie. There's 5 or 6 of them that they kind of chase throughout the film, and it's just like that feeling is very reminiscent of a horror film, and a good horror film. So I think it could fall into the horror category, a subgenre, being disaster films. I don't think Armageddon was quite that way, but this one, with the amount of like action and anxiety that I went through it, I'd say this one could be considered a horror. And I think that's why I was actually interested in doing this episode, because it's one of those fine line movies, and I love it.
Yeah, I remember seeing this in theaters when it came out. This was like such a big deal movie at the time, just because of, I guess, the graphics and the special effects and stuff like that at the time were kind of revolutionary. And it still holds up. Like, it still looks like pretty damn good for a movie that came out in what year? 90 something? The other 96. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, great performances all around. You really feel like you're a part of like this group of storm chasers. And just like even all the side characters are just so fun in this. You got the dude from People Under the Stairs in here, and the guy from Ferris Bueller, and Philip Seymour Hoffman is just A+, and this is Dusty. But then you got, Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton, who are just fantastic. Could we have done without the love triangle? I don't know. I mean, I guess they had to do something, right? Otherwise, it's just people chasing the storms, and maybe that gets a little boring. But I didn't think it was like completely necessary. But I mean, I don't know. Sam, I feel like what did you think of the whole love triangle? Do you think it was necessary?
I mean, I don't think that it took like any focus off of anything in particular. I kind of liked it because, like, I don't know, I feel like Joe knew that they were probably meant to be, but he was trying to act all cool and move on with his life. And it was kind of sad because the Melissa, his new wife, like she kind of sees that Joe and him are passionate about something, and she's like seeing this new side of him, I think. So it makes her sad. So I actually liked it. But yeah, so if you guys don't know, for those of you listening, so I was obsessed with this movie when I was a kid. I don't remember if I saw it in the theater or not. The first memory I have of it is just me being obsessed with it. And I asked my mom if I could have Twister on VHS for Christmas. So Christmas morning, she got me the fucking VHS. And I remember laying on our nasty old brown carpet. And I watched this movie over and over and over in one day. And I loved Helen Hunt so much. Like, I really thought she was real. I thought her character Joe was a fucking real tornado chaser. And I told my mom, I was like, I want to be a tornado chaser with Joe. And my mom's like, well, that's not how it works. Like, she's acting like, if you're a tornado chaser, cool, but you're not going to be with them. And I was just determined. I was like, I will be on her crew. Like, I want to do that with them. And for the longest time, I didn't understand, but I love this movie so much. It's so good. It's sad. It's scary. It makes you laugh. All the characters you love, even the bad ones. I don't know. I just really like it. And it's just cool, like how it's shot. And if you think of how they do the scenes and like the special effects behind the camera, it's really cool. If you can watch any of that, like on YouTube, it's just a great movie. It's one that I'm literally glued to the TV anytime that it's on. And it's like, no matter how many times you've seen it, no matter what part you jump in, you always sit and watch it. And you're like, I don't know. It's just addicting, I guess. And I would consider it horror. It's like natural disaster horror, which I think needs to be a subgenre that everyone like starts talking about.
Yeah, it came on TV 2 weeks ago where Carrie Elwes says "fuck off" to them and gets blown up in a car.
So
and like,
sad.
yeah, you're just watching. Yeah, I feel bad for his driver because Bill Paxton's like, hey, I know you're there listening, dude. Like, turn around, and he fucking turns it off. What a prick. That's what you get, I guess. I remember, and it's still the same feeling I get to this day too, where they're at the drive-in theater, and then afterwards they all like, they're good, but then like the fucking tornado's going towards your aunt, and like that feeling you get, oh no, 'cause she's such a sweetheart. She like cooks all his food. She loves Joe, and she loves him still, even though like they broke up, things like that. And then like they go find her, and it's like, oh man, you get that sinking feeling still for her, which is effective.
Mm-hmm. That drive-in theater scene is so fucking good too. Like,
it's scary.
The fact that The Shining's playing too just like adds to just like the horrificness of it all too. Like, especially when it finally comes through, and it comes through with the exact moment Jack is like putting the axe through the door, you know, and even like the way they intro that scene is the twins, you know, so like it's already makes you feel a little uneasy, and you hear that beautiful score too of The Shining on there too, and it just like adds to the dread of the whole scene. You know something terrible is about to happen, you know, and it's so fucking good. That scene is just A+. And I actually no, you were we went on that ride, Sam, at Universal, which was a lot of fun.
that
I don't think it exists
really
anymore.
Remember what it was?
That doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, it's
the ride was like you literally just stand there and you're at the drive-in movie theater, and then like the Twister comes through and like you watch it like happening in front of you.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then at one point like the floor like collapses and like you're like, oh shit, and you see the cow go across at one point too. I remember. And
they had props from the movie
that's right
in line. They had one of the Dorothy. Right. I think Dorothy 2. They had one of the cows, and they had the sign for Wicker, which was really cool.
Did you ever go to the museum, Sam, for this in your home state?
A museum for Twister?
Yeah.
No,
they had one in Kansas.
Did they have one?
I was reading about it today, actually. I'll pull it up and see if I can find it again. But
no, but next time
does it still exist?
I'm going.
I think so. I'll find it.
Wow. Does this movie take place in Kansas? Is it like all in Kansas?
No, I think
most of
it's in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma,
then
right?
I'm mistaken then.
All right.
I mean, I know that, what is it? Wakita is in Oklahoma.
Oh, so that's an actual city.
No, I don't know if it is, but I know in the movie it's in Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
I thought. That's what I always thought.
No,
it's in Oklahoma though. Never mind.
Cool.
The Twister the movie museum. It's got props. It's got the Dorothy one
Oh
there.
my god.
Some other shit.
Pretty cool.
Does it say what town it is, Todd?
Wakita.
Oh, it's actually in
It makes
Wakita.
sense.
Wakita,
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
That's amazing. If anyone goes through Oklahoma, please go to it for me.
Opens tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Wow.
Do you know how far Wichita is from Wakita, Sam? Like,
No.
I'm curious.
I wonder if they have like Instagram or Facebook.
I bet they do.
Called Todd?
Yeah, it has a Facebook. It's called the Twist. I'm sorry. They had a Twister host party there on the 25th of the anniversary of the movie. 25th
Oh,
anniversary.
cool.
It's called Twister the Movie Museum.
That is amazing.
You guys got to do a road trip now.
That's right. Yeah. We probably drove right by it, like, because when we drove from Wichita to Texas, we drove right through Oklahoma. So I'm sure we weren't too far off from it.
I'm giving them a like.
There you go.
Speaking of the CGI in the movie, though, I remember in '96, like how fucking impressive the CGI was in this. And
yeah.
I was impressed. Like, okay, there's some parts that the CGI is a little rough, like today, you know.
Yeah.
Especially the satellite at the beginning. It's like the most computer generated satellite ever when they're showing. But that's
the worst part of the movie.
that satellite is so bad. Like, they should have just cut it, honestly. But the Twisters themselves, like, they look pretty good for that long ago. It's impressive. Like, you think of CGI around that era, other than like Jurassic Park, there aren't movies that really pulled off CGI this well at that time. So I thought that was impressive, especially the tornadoes, man. You feel those tornadoes, like, they are intense, and they just yeah, I definitely love that about this. And you also mentioned the Shining score, but I like the score in this in Twister. It's a very 90s like score, and I love how the beginning of the movie plays more into like the comedy 90s score, but as the movie progresses, it starts to go more into like a kind of ominous danger incoming score. And I really love the marriage of both. It just fit with this movie, I thought, perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, this movie, it's like you got to go for the ride too, because like it's like so many like things that just seem completely like impractical, like especially like when they drive through the house, when the fucking house and you just see them like go driving upstairs and shit like that. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that, but I mean, it's just like so fun, and it's like the perfect. Did this come out in the summertime? Because I feel like this is like the perfect summer blockbuster like movie.
I think it was
where like
May, actually, a little bit
May,
before.
yeah. It was just like the perfect summer blockbuster movie though, for the time. And I assume like this movie must have did like really well in theaters, right? Like it had to have, because I remember like it being it was fucking everywhere. And then of course it spawned all of the Storm Chaser people who were like, I'm gonna be a Storm Chaser now, and they fucking went out and bought their own equipment and shit, and then they all got sucked up by fucking like Carrie always did.
Did they really? Is that a real thing? Like they got killed and stuff?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure some people did. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this did like a number for Storm Chasers in the US.
It's like Top Gun and the Navy recruiting.
Yeah, I've seen documentaries about it. There are a lot of Storm Chasers, and a lot of them started because they saw this movie and thought it was cool. There's actually a good documentary called Chasing Tornadoes on Tubi that documents a crew exactly like this, and they get really close calls, and it actually kind of puts in perspective this movie, because you see some scenes and you're like, that seems very unlikely. You know, how close they get to the tornadoes, like you know, that one point they're in a triple tornado, like right in the center of a triple tornado on this like little bridge, and the car's like spinning and stuff, and you think that's totally like fake, but I don't know, those real events kind of similar to what happens, you know. They got fucking lucky to live in this movie. How many close calls they have of trucks flying at them, or debris, or I really thought at the time that guy in the drive-in, that the piece of shrapnel like clips him in the face, in the forehead. I really thought they'd like sever him, but I guess the movie had to keep a PG-13.
Wasn't that type of movie?
yeah. Without a perfect opportunity to kind of make it how real it is, it just like chops his head off, or like almost like a Dawn of the Dead, like top of his head just missed opportunity there.
The movie made $494 million worldwide.
Wow.
Off a $92 million budget.
Wow.
at that time.
In 96 too. Yeah.
Wow.
It's huge. Yeah, and that's why it's still a classic today. I mean, it's still on TV all the time.
Always on TV.
Yeah.
And it has a Sega pinball machine at the museum, Sam. So.
Awesome.
Oh my God.
I think I read somewhere at some point that one of the other big reasons why this movie is so big is this movie came out with DVD around the time DVDs came out, and this was a movie that people used to showcase the power of a DVD. This and Fifth Element apparently are the two that got a lot of exposure just by being showcased at stores as to show off what a DVD looks like.
Makes sense.
So that was also, I remember, a big thing. But one thing I wanted to discuss with you guys is I think Melissa is kind of the unsung hero in all this. Like, they could have easily written her to be kind of a bitch or to make her unlikable because you want him to get with Joe. But honestly, she was actually really cool throughout the whole movie. Like, yeah, she's scared, but fuck yeah, I'd be scared too. You know, like, it's a goddamn, they're right in the middle of tornadoes throughout this whole movie. And how she, like, just understands. She gets it. Look, you know, I love him, but he's never going to love me the way he loves Joe. And it's just, I think she's like a total like superstar in this movie.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for her.
No, yeah, they never make her the villain. You're right.
Okay, Joe, you said you could have done without, so you don't get to comment on Dr. Melissa.
Yeah, move along. Anyway, it's like Pierce Brosnan though in Mrs. Doubtfire. Like the stepdad. Yeah, usually they make them a piece of shit, but he's fucking chill too.
Mm-hmm.
They make in Mrs. Doubtfire, they make him into like a villain. Like,
no, they
but not really.
What are you talking about? No, they don't.
He's actually nice throughout the whole film. Like,
he really, he is. But I feel like you're supposed to hate him.
About?
Yeah, because like you're rooting for Robin Williams the whole time, so they
because you know he's the shit dad, so you're like
right. But they easily could have made Pierce Brosnan a piece of shit. But even like the Candid moment, his colleagues like, dude, what the fuck? You with a girl with kids, like, yeah, man, I fucking love the kids. They're great. Yeah, she's great.
That's
and
true.
Like, okay. And then Robin Williams is so pissed off because he's a nice guy. Throws a fucking
head.
Aw.
It's a drive-by fruiting, dude. Did you not tip?
Did you not tip? All right, so let's say we're doing Mrs. Doubtfire next week.
I fucking love that movie. I really.
Did you guys ever see you guys ever see the horror trailer for Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yes,
it's great.
It's awesome.
Scary.
Well, hello.
And I was reading some letterbox reviews of Mrs. Doubtfire. There's some hilarious ones in there.
Like what? What would they say?
It's just like people saying like, they're like, this movie's fucked up. Like, he's such like a piece of shit dad, but we're supposed to like be rooting for him.
I mean, he's just trying his best.
It's got layers, man.
No, like and they were like, think about like how fucked up that's gonna make your kids. Like that, like you know.
Yeah. I loved Sally Field when I was a kid. I wanted her to be my mom. You could tell I had a shitty childhood, so I pretended that these movies were reality and the actresses were my moms. So
you wanted Helen Hunt to be your mom too?
Yeah, she was so fucking cool. She was so brave.
I don't know. Helen Hunt is like a cool older sister for you, or an aunt.
Yeah.
She's like your Aunt May.
There you go.
Want to rate it? Are we done?
I had a couple more things. With you guys. Another thing I liked is how, so obviously he hates Jonas, right? The whole movie kind of alludes to Jonas being the bad guy, but I like that he's still human enough to try to help him out and is bummed out when he dies. And I like that angle because at the end of the day, they are there for the same purpose, and he's actually trying to help him. He's like, no, you got to anchor your machine, whatever he called it, Dot or whatever. You have to anchor Dot because it won't fly if you don't do it. And he's actually trying to help him because in the end, it's about the science, not about, pride. And he kind of realizes that throughout the film. I like that. A lot of movies wouldn't have gone that way. They would have made him the pure villain. And I thought that was the restraint that I liked about it.
Mm-hmm.
He also plays a really good like corporate guy too.
Yeah.
For sure. I like how they go into these moments of levity in the middle of all the action, like when they go to the aunt's house and just kind of enjoy the food there, which by the way, the food looked fucking awesome.
Oh yeah. Every time you watch it, you're just like, damn.
Yeah. And I mean, the dialogue is pretty cheesy. There's some lines in there that kind of rolled my eyes. There's the Star Wars line, that's no moon, that's a space station, as tornadoes like maybe gonna kill their friends, but it has like a charm to it at the same time. and I enjoy that. What was my other one? Oh, and one of my favorite scenes, and it's such a small scene, is when at the end they're being chased by the F5 and they go into that shack with all the weapons. And I'm like, oh my God, who are these people? I thought that was so fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this movie has just great moments. I fucking adore this movie. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the intro is really good too. Like how you follow Joe when she was a kid, and like it's a great way to like intro of like why she becomes the storm chaser and stuff like that. And then you get that huge no, and then you get that huge dramatic moment with her and Bill there, where she's like, "It skipped your house and this house and went to your house."
They really put you into the fucking movie immediately with that first scene. I thought it was a way of introducing, and I like how throughout the movie she's reminded of that. So when she goes back to Wakita after the tornado hit, she sees a family come out of the shelter, and then at the end she sees a family like hers kind of standing at the side of the hill, but they all have their dads, and it's kind of sad that and that's typical. Like, I think anyone else wouldn't see that, but she can focus on those like little moments because she lived through it, and they make a big point of that throughout the whole film, that this is something that really traumatized her as a kid. That's why they're so iffy about talking about F5s even existing, just because she's the only one who survived one. And this movie's like, despite its campiness, how cheesy it is, it's still got a lot of deep messages and deep moments, and it's great.
Yeah. Sam, I want to know how you felt about the cows, though.
I was always sad about the cows. Because I'm like, they can't do nothing. Their little backs break and their little legs are broken. So sad.
Mm-hmm. Most people laughed at that scene, but Sam's in the theater crying about the cows.
I know. I was worried about the cows.
Well, it's just one cow.
It was just one cow, you're right.
Yeah, but the only one cow we saw.
That's true.
Although I do like the line, where do you get all this meat? Did you see the cow from? No.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. It's a great line.
Yeah. And also the sister tornadoes. That's a fun scene too, where you get the two tornadoes coming in.
Well, it's actually three. If you at the
is it three?
By the end of it starts with one, splits into two. But when the truck is there, it's like three around. It's crazy.
That's awesome. Yeah,
that's a great scene.
I mean, it is great. Like, you get so many memorable like tornado scenes, like the one and when they're stuck under the bridge, like that one's awesome too. Like, so many cool ones. Who's your favorite side? Who's like your favorite side character in this?
Oh, Dusty.
Gotta be Dusty.
Dusty.
Yeah. Another one gone, taken to her.
I know.
That's crazy. But yeah, you're right. There are a lot of there are a lot of tornado scenes in this. There's at least five or six.
Yeah.
And they, tornadoes can look kind of the same, but they really pick different moments of the tornado. And I thought that was cool. Mm-hmm. And even though the CGI was a little off, the weather effects, like the hail and all that stuff, that looked really real, Yeah. It's crazy. Like, they did a good job with this movie.
Mm-hmm. I like when the truck fall. Like, she's like, "Where's my truck?" And they just fucking boom, smashes right on the. There it is.
I'm almost 100% sure though. I missed what mark it was, but that whoever had that red truck had to use this in ads. Like, that fucking truck
I know, right?
survives the whole movie, and the only reason it gets destroyed is because they actually let it go into the tornado. Like, that thing got hit by debris, got hit by tornadoes, they got hit by hail. That truck's fucking fine. Like,
that's right. Built Ford tough.
That had to be a marketing thing in the 90s
for sure. I bet it. I actually guarantee you it was. You could probably find it on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure it was. I think that's all I had anyway.
Alrighty, let's rate it.
Hey, let's go first.
9 out of 10.
Oh, 9
out of 10. Love it. Cheesy. Fuck yeah, of course. Turn off your brain. Sure. Awesome characters. Great movie. 9 out of 10.
Yeah, this is like a just nostalgia overload. It's like a warm hug every time I watch it. Yeah, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 too. Like, yeah, it's fucking cheesy as hell, but it's just so fun.
95 Dodge Ram truck, by the way.
Oh, 95 Dodge Ram. There you go. I'm gonna rate this a 9.5.
Wow,
that would have been a great tornado chaser.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, this movie I think is like a 6.5 or 7, but to me it's a 9. Like what can I say? It's a guilty pleasure. If I keep watching it, like I'd watch it again today and be totally fine with it because I fucking love this movie. It's one of those movies. If I see it on TV, and it happens a lot, I will stop and watch it. Like it doesn't matter where in the movie it is, I will always stop and watch it. I just love this movie. So 9 out of 10.
There's gonna be someone out there, right? That like the Ecto one, like they have like for a Dodge Ram with like the Dorothy on the back or something.
It's got to, yeah. Somebody out there has it.
I want to meet that person.
Right.
or someone has like Dusty's like RV thing rocking out.
Barn burner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. It's no, definitely a great movie, and I'm glad we got to do it. You know, it's out of our wheelhouse a little bit, but we talked a lot. We talked about a lot. Like Twisters come up a lot in the last since we became the Horror Squad. So
yeah, it had to be done.
It had to be done at some point. Todd was away, and so we wanted to pick something that he had either seen or could remember. And this one he used to watch a few weeks ago, so the perfect timing.
Yeah,
I'm looking on Google for Bill Paxton's the 995 Dodge truck, and it looks like someone actually has a Dorothy replica in the back.
Yes,
nice.
I love it.
Red Dodge.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
Of course, there had to be. Like,
it's got to be in like Oklahoma or something.
That's hilarious.
Did they film this movie at an actual drive-in, like for that drive-in scene? I wonder if like you can like go see the drive-in or something, or Aunt May's house. I wonder if people like go.
Aunt May's house they bought that whole town.
Really?
About it. They bought that whole town out for like $10,000 or something because it was like dilapidated.
Wow.
They fixed them up and then destroyed them, including her house.
No shit. I was gonna say her house was destroyed, so they probably either built it as a set or
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Although lucky, I mean, they got out of there right in time. It's a lot of close calls in this movie. Like Bill Paxton,
a lot of plot armor in this movie.
Yeah.
The amount of times this debris just happens to miss him is pretty incredible.
Imagine if they went there though, like the final scene, they just get ripped apart. You're like, whoa. Oh, shit.
Or if and like they don't make sure like not to make it too sad because like they in like another movie they easily would have killed Aunt May off. You know, she would have like died in the tornado, and like definitely one of the storm chasers would have died as well, like some way somehow.
It's kind of like Armageddon, where you're like Bruce Willis sacrificed himself. That's surprised they didn't do something like this in this.
Armageddon at least went there though. They killed like half of the crew. Like in that
Owen Wilson dies like in the first 10 minutes.
Right.
I forgot to say, but
it's nice to have a disaster movie that takes tornadoes seriously, but still gives us like a feel good story. It was a nice balancing of showing the real danger of tornadoes, but also providing 90s entertainment.
Yeah, man, this was like the pinnacle of disaster movies too.
There's
fucking so many.
Late 90s.
Yeah.
Insane.
Now is it like I'm trying to think of like the last like good disaster movie there was. Like I can't even think of anything right off the top of my head.
2012 is probably the last one I can think of that was. Although there's that one coming out like really like either early next year. Moonfall.
I know this one with Leonardo
where
DiCaprio.
The moon is coming, is like gonna crush the earth.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Yeah, it's from the guy who did Independence Day and 2012 and.
Is that Roland Emmerich or something?
Emmerich, yeah.
Interesting.
I know Geostorm with Gerard Butler came out like 4 years ago. I never saw it though.
Yeah, there have been some, but it really reached its peak. And
there was that Nick Cage one too.
Knowing?
Knowing. Where like the sun flare, like there's like sun flares or whatever that destroys the world.
The sun got its due. Volcanoes got their due. Twisters got their due. It's like they each got their. Asteroids got them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Now a blizzard.
We got Day After Tomorrow.
The Day After Tomorrow, sort of. Yeah.
There's no ice storm. Like I want an ice storm one where.
All right, Horse Squad approved. Sure. Easily.
Yes.
Easily. Yeah. 2 weeks in a row we were in the 9s. It's pretty good.
Did you rewatch Ghostbusters yet, Steve?
No, I'm gonna wait till it's.
Are you?
I don't like the theater experience enough to go back twice for the same movie.
I think I might be seeing Resident Evil on Thursday morning.
Ooh.
You'll have to tell me about that.
We'll see.
So next week, Sam, are you doing your birthday episode next week or the one after?
Well, my birthday's on the 9th, so maybe we should do it next week.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. And then the week after, we might be able to do Chucky because I think that show ends this week.
Yeah, I think it does. Mm-hmm.
All right. So Sam, what are we watching?
Can we do a double header, perhaps?
Oh,
Ooh.
maybe.
Well, Todd, Todd, you help me remember. So I would love to do When a Stranger Calls Back, but it's like a direct sequel. So I feel like you have to watch the first one to get the second one.
I don't think you do.
You don't?
No, because I've only seen. Everyone knows what happens in that original movie. That's like a horror trope. Like even if you're not a horror fan, you know, like the calls from inside the house. I really don't think you need to. Plus, I think the sequel is superior anyway.
Okay, well then we'll just do the sequel. I'm gonna watch both.
I'm gonna watch both too because I don't think I've ever seen
it. Then we'll do
let's just do both, and we're all gonna have it.
We don't have to. I mean, we can do it briefly.
Oh yeah,
we can do it. We'll just fuck it. Let's do it.
We'll do it.
Okay.
Fuck it.
But we're not doing the fucking remake. I'm putting my foot down.
No.
Who is in the remake? I don't think I've seen. Oh wait, I have seen the remake. It was someone famous.
Camille something.
Camilla Bell.
Was it bad? It was bad.
It just was not.
I think so. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
All right, both When Stranger Calls and Stranger Calls Back are on Amazon Prime for the US. Not sure.
Nice.
Funny. So I knew Sam would do this. I've been holding off watching them, but I wanted to watch the remake because I knew she wouldn't do that one. In Canada on Prime, the picture and the description is the remake, but when you play it, it's actually the original.
Interesting.
Someone's fucking up.
Yeah, someone fucked up at Prime over there. So
they're like, we don't care.
I'm like, okay. Oh, awesome.
Well,
I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
We should do a Christmas movie this month too, since like we're in December.
Yeah,
at some point.
When a Stranger Calls Back is on Tubi, not on Amazon Prime.
All right.
We should probably do another vote for the Christmas movie. Each pick one, and the listeners pick which one they want.
Sweet.
I already know my pick. It's my annual crusade to get one done.
Which one?
Santa's Sleigh.
Santa's Sleigh? Okay.
Goldberg.
With Goldberg.
I'll have to think.
We'll do P2, Justice for Tom.
We already did P2.
We'll do P2 every year.
Every year.
I love P2. It's so good.
Yeah, Sam would totally date Tom, and he would never turn into a psychopath.
Yeah.
She gave him a little attention. That's all he needed.
That's all he needed. Yep.
He's a little tickle his way.
Oh.
Slap and a tickle.
All right. When a Stranger Calls Back 1 and 2. Sweet.
Yep. For next week, birthday episode.
Chucky
Hope
after
you guys
that.
can join us. Chucky after that.
I need to find that one.
Then Christmas.
What else?
And then
a Christmas movie. Yep. Then Year Ender.
Yeah. Nice.
I gotta get preparing my list.
Yeah, start thinking your list if you guys want to, think of a list.
Would you give us a top 5 suggestion, Steve? Won't you guys hit us with that? Since you watched 100 movies,
he did.
Did I miss it on that chat?
He did.
I'll say it on the air for you guys.
Right.
Sam and I already jumped in on one of them. One of Sam's suggestions, anyway. And then we started watching a classic horror story, but Sam fell asleep, so I shut it off. So we're gonna jump into it.
All right. So here were my suggestions. So
were these in the chat that I missed, or what?
Yeah, they were in the chat.
Yeah,
I'll send them back. But so for the listeners, I told Joe to watch The Medium, Blood Red Sky, A Classic Horror Story, Paranormal Activity: Next of Kin, which I believe you did watch.
Yes.
And The Block Island Sound. For Sam, I think she would like There's Someone Inside Your House, which you watched.
Yes.
Superhost, Night Teeth, Devil's Island, and Jacob's Wife. And for Todd, a classic horror story, Witness Infection, The Medium, The Boys from County Hell, and Sound of Violence.
The Medium.
Sound of Violence was solid.
Yeah. The Medium, classic horror story, Witness Infection, and The Boys from County Hell.
Okay.
I gotta watch Boys from County Hell too, because I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah.
Well, you gave it 2.5, Steve.
Yeah, but like
Witness Infection.
It doesn't mean that I that's why I'm picking different movies. Like, There's Someone Inside Your House. I think Sam
so making Todd watch shitty movies.
Right. I'm hoping Sam likes it, but I knew Joe wouldn't like it. It's just like,
gee whiz. Fuck me over.
I'm not saying they're great.
Is available.
But I just think that's the best ones that I've seen this year that I know you guys didn't watch.
I got about 30 minutes into Classic Horror Story and I was loving it so far. So we'll see.
And we started watching it and I didn't realize it had the girl from Revenge. And so I got excited.
She's in there.
And then I was falling asleep and I just watching like the 10 minutes. I was like, oh, I know I'm going to like this movie. So I told Joe, I was like, if I fall asleep, you can watch it because I'm going to watch it.
I love Revenge. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the surprises this year. It's just you'll see the end is what killed it for me. But
okay.
Oh.
Well, it's interesting too that they like switch between English and Italian. Is that what it is?
It's Italian.
Like, yeah, it's weird. I'm like, okay.
I'm seeing that in movies more and more. I've been watching a lot of like off the beat stuff where they switch languages throughout the film.
Yeah, like I was like, did foreigners do that in like real life? Is that a thing?
Yeah, fuck. I don't remember who I was talking to about this. I watched a movie called 100 Candles, which is an anthology film. And one of the full segments in the movie is in Spanish, but it doesn't show you the subtitles. So I'm watching it and I'm like, why aren't they putting the subtitles? I don't understand a fucking word. It's an English film. You know, you think they'd subtitle the Spanish. So, okay, I get out the fucking remote. I put on the subtitles. You know what it says? Speaking Spanish. I'm like,
what the fuck?
How's that? So there's a good 15, 20 minutes. I have no idea what the fuck happened.
Really? That's interesting. So like you're not supposed to be understanding them. Is that what you're saying basically? Like
I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Like everything else is in English. So you'd think the one segment that's not in English would be, translated. I don't know why it's not.
There was another movie I watched like that too, where like they started speaking a foreign language, but you weren't supposed to like know what they were saying. Like it didn't subtitle it.
It affects you more.
Maybe it'd be a thing if there was like a conversation here and there that were another language. You see that in movies a lot. This is a full ass segment.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
So I wish it was in French and I could have understood it, but Spanish, I caught words in here because it's a little similar to French, but yeah, it was weird choice.
All right then.
All righty. Thanks for listening, everyone. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Check out our Discord, and we'll see you next week for my birthday episode.
Bye.
The first thing I did when the power went off is I took a super hot shower.
We broke Steve.